U.S. intervention. U.S. imperialism. U.S. imperialism was the conquest for colonial empires while gaining economic, political, and military power. The U.S. wanted commercial and business interests to spread their beliefs and systems, such as trade, new resources, military, prestige, religion, and also it encouraged survival of the fittest. Puerto Rico, as a result of the Spanish American War, was annexed by the U.S. The U.S. colony saw it as a the U.S. saw it as a colony. The U.S. gained imperial strength and global presence. After the Puerto Rico's annexation, they passed the Foraker Act, which gives Puerto Rico a self-government and U.S. citizenship. Jones Act was passed in 1917 to make U.S. citizens and ships to enter the ports and make things more profitable. By the way, it was only U.S. citizens. And also it became a commonwealth in 1952.
Cuba. Cuba is a country relatively close to the United States. Being less than 100 miles away, it was a big interest for the United States. As a result of the Cuba's war with the Spanish, the United States decided to help out the government by sending a warship. This warship was called the USS Maine, and sadly, it was attacked, causing the deaths of nearly 100 Americans. This caused the American entrance into the Cuban War and led to the Cubans' independence. One of the main reasons America was actually interested in the Cubans was its rich supply of sugar, as you can see right there. What this established was American dominance in the Caribbeans. It also established the Banana Republic, which is Americans' interest in other countries, causing the workers and the people themselves to be treated in harsh conditions and by cruel dictators. This caused a domino effect, as you can see, causing the Americans' interest into other countries to suffer the same fate as Cuba did.
In 1916, the U.S. government took over the Dominican Republic because of the unstable political situation that prevented the Dominican Republic from paying off the debts they owed. They invaded them to restore order. They then occupied the territory for 8 years until a new government took over in 1924. The U.S. supported authoritarians and corrupt leaders who still rule on behalf of a privileged social class and foreign powers. They seen the invasion as an oppressor instead of a liberator. The Dominican Republic continued to suffer. At the end of the invasion, more than 3,000 Dominicans and 21 American servicemen died, and they had very harsh dictatorship.
Some of the relevance that we could see even today in today's society was the Cuban Missile Crisis. The Cuban Missile Crisis was led by the communist Russia, where it put nuclear-tipped missiles on Cuba. This in itself caused a whole entire of the issues that even to today, Cuba still resents the Americas, which led it to going to communism, America's main rivals in the 80s. As a result of this, came to the power of the Castros, dictators who believed America was the source of the issues, and that America overall was a bad influence on Cuba itself. And as you can see here, it's another example of Cuba. During the Cuban War, as I said, the USS Maine was attacked, which led to 260 men dead as a result of it. Something called yellow journalism affected how the U.S. citizens interpreted these issues. It saw that the USS Maine was an attack to Americans themselves, when in reality it was just a simple explosion due to some human error. But as journalists back in America, they made it seem as though it was a terrorist attack. This caused for many Americans to feel that it was the Cubans or the Spaniards and that they needed vengeance. But in reality, it was no one's fault. Thank you.